morning and welcome to Paddock Pass Live, powered by Repco. We are live in pit lane from the beautiful North Queensland here in Townsville. I'm Rhonda Crean. I'm joined by Andrew Jones. Andy, we are halfway through 4 weekends straight of supercar racing. There are cars on track. There are fans here in Townsville. How good is this?
It is so good, and we've come from one of the most beautiful parts of the country that delivers a wonderful winter temperature to another part of the country where winter up here is beautiful, about 28 odd degrees today. Cars are out on track. Townsville tin tops, it's an eclectic mix, we could call it that. There's all sorts of things out there, from Super 3 cars through to some GT3 cars. I saw Tony Quinn's beautiful Aston Martin there before. We've got Holt's car coming behind us here, and there's a really, really cool mix of supports here.
Has there ever been a better name for a support category than Townsville Tin Tops? I think that is probably one of the best names I've ever heard for a category of car racing. And it is awesome to see all sorts of cars on track. We actually have the one, the only, one of the greatest names to ever live in Australian motorsport. Roland Dane is getting behind a car this weekend to race.
Yes, he is, and he'll be swapping driving duties with Paul Morris. So 2 cars coming out of the 888 garage to come up here for the SuperSprint. There'll be a Jaguar and a Camaro as well, and those 2 guys are going to swap throughout the weekend. So we'll keep a bit of an eye on that and how that plays out.
Well, how do you think the competition between those two is going to go? Like, do you think there's something on the line, a bit of a cheeky beer at the end of the weekend between the 2 of those guys?
No doubt, absolutely no doubt. Knowing how those guys operate, there'll be some sort of a wager happening in the background.
This weekend, obviously, we've got 3 huge races ahead of us. Another Super Sprint weekend, 39 lap races. The championship, Scott McLaughlin, he is on song at the moment. He clean swept the weekend last time out in Darwin, but here in Townsville is kind of a bit of a 888 feeding ground. Jamie Wingcup, he's won 10 races here in Townsville, so I think things are certainly going to heat up.
He certainly will, but Scott's got so much form at the moment, hasn't he? And not just at the moment, but he carried it through from last year as well. And really interesting to read during the week that he's already thinking about Bathurst and how we can get to Bathurst with enough of a points buffer that one event isn't going to be the catalyst for whether or not he's able to win the championship. And just goes to show, you know, the mindset that Scotty's in at the minute is so strong when you're a couple of rounds away from a possible Bathurst finale. That's where all the chat is about. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but he wants to get there with enough of a margin that the job's done and he can go there and enjoy that event.
It's pretty ominous signs for his competition. He came out of Darwin saying that he's had the best car he's ever had, which is kind of scary considering some of the lap times he put down in qualifying in previous years. He's feeling super duper confident, clean swept at Darwin, so up and down pit lane you've got to be thinking, geez, can this guy get any better? And if he does, we're in some pretty serious trouble.
It's ominous signs for everybody else, isn't it? Because it's such a confidence game. Hey, Ree, let's go for a little wander through here. It is such a confidence game, and Scotty's confidence at the minute is super, super high. So something that we've seen happen a lot over the years is the Nick Percat car behind me there. We have a rotating livery sponsorship change throughout events. He has locked in R&J batteries for the rest of the year, but on the other side of the garage here, we've got Todd Hazelwood. He's going to line up in different colours this weekend to what we've seen in that Brood entry. He'll be in a Black Duck seat cover sponsored car this weekend. So the rest of the field will look like they did when we left Darwin, except for Todd behind us.
I actually drove past Nick Percat on the way to the racetrack this morning. I was in a car, he was on his bicycle. So Nick Percat has been incredibly, he's been upping his fitness this year. Not that he really needed to up it anymore, but he's been really hammering down with his fitness level. He's been swimming in pools, he's been riding. He said he did a pretty serious bike ride yesterday, probably a bit harder than what he anticipated on some of the elevation he did up one of the local mountains around here. So yeah, pretty cool to see Nick really maximising the time that the guys have had in between race meetings. We know that they've been a bit of, I don't want to say downtime in between race meetings because there's been a lot of hard work happening between races, but Nick's certainly been maximising the time with his fitness regime.
And he's one of these unfortunate guys that regardless of how much he trains or doesn't train, he's a beanpole, and that's how he's built. He's got these skinny legs. So yes, he's upping his fitness levels. His ability to be able to carry oxygen through his body is the one thing that he said has just really gone through the roof, but looking at him physically, he looks the same as he always has.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we just walk down past some of the teams here, Walkinshaw and Andretti United had a bit of a mixed weekend last time out in Darwin. As we've got one of the characters of our Super 2 Paddock, Bush, is on the radio at the moment. And talk about characters, Paul Morris, we were just chatting about you and the fact that you're behind the wheel of a car this weekend. What are you most looking forward to getting back in and driving and having a go?
Didn't hear a word you said.
What are you most looking forward to getting back behind the wheel this weekend?
Oh, just having a good time driving Roland Dane's car.
Is there something on the line between you guys about who's going to end up at the top of the sheets after the weekend?
No, I don't think so. We just had to have a good time. He's got some really cool cars here, and it's good to see him getting out and using them. So good to see him out of the shed.
Has he warned you about crash damage? You know, if you damage his car?
No, nothing like that. Just said go and have a good time. That's what we're doing. So finally got to drive for 888, but it's not in the supercar.
That's what we like to see. Enjoy your weekend, Paul.
Thanks.
How's that? You've got a fully specced up 888 team behind you in the Townsville tin tops.
Yeah, exactly, in the SuperSprint. So interesting, the amount of characters that are in this pit lane at the moment. Luke Youlden teamed up with Dave Reynolds to win the Bathurst 1000 a couple of years ago. He's on the headset. Brody Kostecki, we saw him there before. And these guys are all, and I guess the byproduct of this category coming about and why there's so many different cars out there is we needed some supports up here in Townsville. We saw some in Darwin, but because we are Queensland-based, basically any race car that was available to come up and have a run that was located in Queensland has come up here, and that's why we're seeing so many people up and down this pit lane coming and having a look. How cool is this bit of machinery here?
And it's going to continue next weekend. Obviously, we know we'll be back here in Townsville to race next weekend. Hyundai XLs are here next weekend. That's a pretty lit up field next weekend. We've got some serious drivers that are lining up to be in that Hyundai XL race in a week's time.
We certainly do. And one guy that's put his hand up to have a run in the XL is young Will Brown. He'll drive anything for a free lunch. So him and his dad have bought themselves an XL, and Shane's going to be on the headsets running that car. It'll be two guys, one in the driver's seat and one in the pit crew, and that'll be his father Shane. So lots of guys. XL, it's the new style of HQ racing, very cheap format. Can't wait to see that next weekend, but we've got a lot of racing to get through this weekend.
Yeah, and all kicks off in just under an hour's time, going live on Fox 506 at 9:45 this morning. We've got a rookie session, a couple of practice sessions, of course, qualifying, and then a race this afternoon, 39 laps. Huge weekend of racing support. We've got fans and, of course, supercars on track. Looking forward to you joining us on Fox 506, not too far away.